Okay, today I'm going to be making edible hair using the power of folding. So normal cotton candy is made by heating up sugar and then letting centrifugal force pull it out, and it strings it out into very tiny strands of solidified sugar, and that makes the candy feel kind of cotton-like at the end, and it dissolves in your mouth. It's really good to eat. So let's say you don't have a cotton candy making machine at your house. Can you still make tiny little strands of sugar by hand? The answer is yes. Okay, to make this, all you need is sugar, corn syrup, and vinegar and water, and a lot of cornstarch. So the corn syrup will just keep the sugar from solidifying into a solid crystal at the end. So first you just mix them all together. Corn syrup, half a teaspoon of vinegar, and a cup of water. Okay, and then you can color it whatever color you want. And since I said I'm making edible hair, I'm gonna color it brown. Okay, so we're gonna heat it up to 269 degrees Fahrenheit. Okay, we're there. So this is what's called the hardball stage of candy. So now I'm just gonna let it cool back down to 212 degrees. Okay, and once it's cooled off a little, then you can transfer it into a flexible container. Now I'm gonna let it cool off. Okay, now it's hardened a little bit, but still soft. So now I gotta get it out. Now get cornstarch on it. Okay, now let's keep track of how many times we fold it. Okay, so when I start folding this, it's going to multiply really quickly. So for example, I'll start off with 2 strands. So I'll fold that in half, and then I'll get 2 times 2 equals 4 strands. And then I'll fold those 4 strands in half, and I'll get 8 strands. And then I'll fold those 8 strands in half, and I'll get 16 strands. And if you can't tell this pattern, if I fold 16 strands in half, I'll get 32. And what that's doing is it's just the same as taking 2 to the power of number of folds. So it's taking 2 to the number of folds I have. So you can see already, if I fold it 10 times, I'm going to get over 1,000 strands. Okay, so what you start to get is these very, very thin strands of sugar. Looks just like hair. And this is hair you can eat. Okay, so the final product, what you get are these very fine strands of sugar that you can eat. It's really cool. So you can wrap these around a stick and eat them like cotton candy, but it looks really weird. It looks exactly like human hair. You can see how fine some of these strands got. You can see they're not all equal size, because once one gets thinner, it's easier to stretch, and so that becomes more likely to be stretched. So the more equal your strands are to start with, the better consistent strands you'll end up with. But you can see these are almost on the order of human hair size, a little bit thicker. And if I folded this 273 times, I would have more strings than the number of atoms in the entire known universe. Obviously, you can see the failing in that logic there. So why isn't it realistic? Because eventually my strings would become less thick than the diameter of one atom, and I couldn't split them after that. So this is just fake, only theoretical. And even more realistically, if I got too small, the strands would just start to break. They wouldn't be able to hold themselves together, and so I couldn't loop them around and string them further to make them smaller. If you didn't know, this is actually a traditional Chinese candy called dragon's beard. And I'm not very good at making it, but it was cool to talk about the math behind it. So if you like this video and you're not subscribed yet, remember to hit that subscribe button, and you can be notified when the latest video comes out by hitting that bell button, and I'll see you next time.